The migrating humpbacks have only one objective now: the safe house of Mozambique. It's a whale-birthing paradise, far from the usual hunting grounds of great white sharks. Vulnerable baby whales can nurse, grow, and gain strength. The adults have traveled 4,000 miles to safety. The warm water and lack of predators give their species the best chance of survival. It's a magical time. The whales spend up to 4 months mating, birthing, and nursing their young. This is their time to bond and interact. But these adult whales have not eaten since they left Antarctica months ago. Their strength diminishes each day. And the time is coming when all of them, adults and calves, will have to swim the 4,000 miles back to Antarctica to feed.
After 4 months up in Mozambique, they start this return migration down. And that's when it's going to get really interesting, because at that stage, you're going to have these weak whales, these whales that haven't fed up enough, that have been starved for the last 4 or 5 months. And as they go down, they're going to be the ones that I think are really vulnerable to attack by sharks.
Now it's springtime. And the humpback whales begin the journey south, back to Antarctica. Everything works against them. New mothers dig into precious energy reserves to produce 100 pounds of milk a day.
But look at this, you can see the utter commitment of these whales to get back to Antarctica. She's been up in Mozambique for the last 3 or 4 months, feeding that baby, getting this blubber layer up, getting it ready for those cold waters of Antarctica. And now she's got one mission, and that's to get down past South Africa, across to Antarctica and get back to the food. You know, you look at this coastline and it looks pristine, it looks beautiful, but what is hidden is the amount of perils that these whales face. There's shipping lanes here, there's nets, there's longliners, there's shark bather protection nets. And it's when they get entangled, it's when they get weakened, it's when they get isolated from each other that they become vulnerable to shark attacks.
Helen's attack on a humpback happened at the end of summer, during this return trip to Antarctica. The whale she attacked was tangled up in heavy fishing line, and all alone. Humpback whales have close family bonds, but the safety of the pod comes first. Stragglers are left behind. This humpback was still 2,000 miles from Antarctica. It was weak and vulnerable. Everything a white shark looks for in a victim. Worst of all, it was alone in white shark territory. The grueling migration back to Antarctica can be fatal to whales. Some are too old, too weak, or just unlucky. When a whale dies, It's like a dinner bell for sharks. They didn't kill it. But that doesn't matter. Whale blubber is pure fat. Sharks convert the fat to energy, which they store in their massive livers. They'd have to kill 200 seals to get the same energy boost. Of course, sharks scavenging dead whales is not new to science. But a great white attacking a living whale is new. Just what would a shark do for a mouthful of whale? If the right opportunity came along, would they go in for the kill? Killing a live whale is vastly different to scavenging a carcass.
What struck me was just how patient, just how strategic Helen was when she was going about this attack. She wasn't trying to eat, she was trying to weaken, she was trying to slow down, she was trying to slowly overcome this whale before even considering feeding on it.
To do that, Helen attacked the whale's tail first. A washed-up carcass reveals just how difficult it is for a shark to get the better of a whale.
This tail is one of the main power forces for any humpback whale. It can literally propel one of the whales, a 40-ton whale, 8-10 meters out of the water. So, even for the biggest, strongest great white shark, if it took a knock by one of these, it's tickets for the shark. What was clear was, on that weak whale, the first place the great white targeted was right here on the tail, on the keel. And the idea is, and I reckon if I cut in here we'll see it, is that there's big veins that go here, supplying energy to this muscle. With the white shark targeting this area here, essentially what it could do was open up a vein, let the whale bleed out, and then, when it was very, very weak, almost dead, target and actually try to go and kill it.
This is exactly what Helen does. She bites the whale's tail again and again. Eventually, blood begins to pour out. Then, as the whale grows weaker, Helen does something no one has ever seen a shark do before. For the first time in shark science, Ryan witnesses a single white shark killing a humpback whale. The whale is tangled up in fishing line, weak and alone. White sharks are experts at assessing vulnerability. The young humpback has been left behind by the pod. There's no escape.
Was Helen cognizant of this? Most likely. And it begs the question, would this attack even have been contemplated if this whale was at full strength? And I think probably not.
Helen uses the same strategy white sharks use when hunting seals. She's watchful and patient, assessing the whale's strength and ability to resist. The whale's life slowly bleeds away. Helen patiently waits. It's typical great white hunting behavior, but adapted for a whale. Helen waits until the whale is most vulnerable. Her shark sense tells her when that moment has come.
So then she changed her entire strategy and started focusing on the head. Basically like this shark had done. She grips onto this and she essentially puts all her weight, tugging the head of the whale down.
She uses the weight of her body to shove the whale's head underwater. Her goal is to drown it. The great white is methodical. She knows just what to do.
And it is a chance that Helen the shark that attacked this whale has in fact learned this behavior and it is unique to her. But on the other hand, it could be that it's just a very common behavior that for some reason scientists around the world have not been able to observe before.
When Ryan compiles this video evidence together with the footage of Helen's methodical, expert attack, he arrives at just one conclusion. White sharks are going after whales more often than we think. After 50 minutes of patient, persistent effort, the whale draws its last breath, and Helen succeeds in drowning it.